Welcome to FAQ 8. This is Ms. Hadi. I'm going to go over how our textbook is organized. So we use the textbook Traditions and Encounters by Dr. Bentley. I actually used to grade the AP exam with him before he passed away. And it's a lovely book. There are different kinds of books that are used throughout the country. There's Bullet, there's Strayer, but the way our book is organized, it's very narrative, and it usually goes by region, but it discusses the themes. There's always a vignette or an opening story meant to hook you or get your attention. Then it's organized by headings and subheadings. This is for each chapter. There are marginal notes, there are graphics, so I'm going to introduce you to that. So for each couple of chapters, they're organized by a unit, and each unit has periodization pages. So a couple of pages in yellow where it talks about that time period. Remember that Bentley's time periods differ from those that the College Board uses, and that has to do with each historian's perception of when things shifted or changed enough that they weren't having a separate time period. And those 2 pages are really important because they explain things that that time period has that is characteristic no matter what region you're in. So take a look at those 2 pages. Then there's units of about 6 chapters that cover the major regions for the time period. Each chapter covers 1 region or 2. Sometimes it's a chapter that has all of the different regions that we've talked about. As I said, it starts with a vignette and a picture to hook you. Then there are blue headings, which are major headings, and then red subheadings. It kind of depends on the version of the notes. Marginal notes, different graphics like maps. Sometimes there's primary source documents, there's pictures of art and architecture. At the very end, there's a summary. It's not great, so don't copy it. And here it talks about Persian charts because I got this from something older. Now we use inspect charts. There is a summary at the end. Don't ever copy that summary. And there's also a chronology. So I just wanted to share with you a little bit about how the book was organized. And then I want to show you a picture of the book. So again, if you go to my website, mshadi.weebly.com, you can see under more book chapters, you'd click on it and then it would open down below. I'm not going to, well, I might as well just click on it. See how it opens down below? Then you click on it and it will open the chapter. So if I was to click on this, it opens chapter 1. So remember I said there are usually some periodization pages. So the first 2 pages here actually tell you about the whole time period, which they're describing as 3500 to 500 BCE. Now this is only for ancient world because, you know, modern, AP World History Modern doesn't have this time period, but it used to. It used to have the entire book. So that only changed a year or so ago. But look through this. If all you do even is look at the first sentence of every paragraph, to have a sense for things that are characteristic of the time period. That means in every society, there are some things that are similar. Okay, and then you'll see this is chapter 1. There's a title. Here's a cool picture. It's going to tell you what that picture is of on the opposite page to get you excited. It also has, you know, the breakdown of the chapter. So you can see there are 3 major sections with subsections to keep it nice and organized for you. So then there's a story, like a vignette, that's supposed to get you interested in the chapter. This isn't something you want to take a bunch of notes on. This is just to get you interested. Then there are the headings, which are in red. There's like a couple introductory paragraphs. You don't need to take a bunch of notes here, maybe 1 bullet note or 2. And then here's when you really want to get started with the note taking, the blue subheadings. And I'll show you how to do outline notes in another video. This is just a nice way that they organize the information. You can also see pictures. And here, these are called marginal notes. And in a perfect world, you would have your notes organized by heading, subheading, and marginal notes. And if there's not a marginal note for the chapter, but you think maybe you can come up with one, you can come up with one on your own. And I'll show you how to do that. So this is generally how the book is organized. It's a good idea to just skim the chapter before you even read it. Sometimes there'll be cool things in here, like sources from the past. There'll be primary sources, or, you know, little tidbits of information that might be interesting. There'll be maps, there'll be photos. Take a look at all of those pictures, and then I'll show you at the very end of the chapter there'll be a summary and a chronology, just so you know what the book is like, because you're going to be looking at this book a lot. It's about 25 pages per chapter, not always exactly that. Okay, so here you can see at the very end, I skipped it too quickly, there's a tiny summary. It's really not the most useful summary. When we summarize things in our class, we tend to go by the themes that I talked about in the previous video. This is useful, although sometimes there are mistakes. There are sometimes mistakes in the maps and sometimes mistakes in this chronology, but this can be useful to think about. So here you can see the designations BCE and CE. So you know this is way before 0, right? This is 200,000 years before 0. Okay, and then if you wanted to do, if you were a scholar, extra reading, it would tell you where the extra information is. And that is how the book is organized. Thank you.